What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Last night, before I went to sleep, I said, tomorrow morning after work, I'm going to do 2 videos and keep my day moving. I'm going to do a Jordan video that I found. I'm going to do a Larry Bird video that I found. I'm going to react to those. And I'll continue on my Friday off the YouTube channel. And before I went to bed, I was like, well, let me check in on Undisputed, see what these guys are talking about. So I watched about 2 or 3 minutes of the segment that had to do with Victor Wembanyama being compared to LeBron James. And Shannon Sharpe was so emotional, so distraught, so over the top at the notion that Victor Wembanyama was considered, to some people, a larger draft prospect than LeBron James. The amount of emotion and butthurtedness that this guy had was over the top for such a topic, especially for such a topic. But we all know the Bronsexual that Shannon Sharpe is. Anything that does not fit his LeBron James narrative, no matter how significant or insignificant it is, because this topic is insignificant in my opinion. What does it really mean? Okay, you're the greatest draft prospect. But anything that doesn't fit his LeBron James narrative, he'll blow up. He will blow up. He is a notorious LeBron James meat rider and a historian of the revisionist category, if you know what I mean. Anyway, this video is about 16 and a half minutes long. I'm going to watch the whole thing. I'll pause it where I feel like I need to talk about a point that was just mentioned, because I often lose my thoughts if I wait to the end of the video and I forget to say things. And if there's anything else that needs to be said after the video, I'll talk about it. But I'll pause, give my thoughts, as we watch this, and see what the rest of this section of the program was talking about. All right? Thank you for stopping in.
And you go first on this one. Do you agree with Dame and Draymond?
I absolutely agree. And I think we kind of touched on this, Skip. We haven't attacked it like we're about to now. But I say this all the time. We forget that just how good, because, Skip, there was no social media. We only got LeBron through print. Hearsay. Sports Illustrated did the article. Now, just imagine, LeBron James, that same prospect, and we got YouTube, and we got all this social media, and we got Twitter, we got IG, and all these other ways, TikTok.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what LeBron James would have been? Skip, I think the thing, plus the fact is that because LeBron has been so great as an adult basketball player, we forget what a prodigy and how hyped he was as a child. It's kind of like...
I don't know. Can somebody, maybe I just don't understand what he's saying, but to me that doesn't make any sense. If he's been so great for so long, why would we necessarily forget how great he was as a prospect or early in his NBA career? If anything, if a player is stinking it up later in their career, people tend to have this, what's the word I want to use? They tend to forget how good somebody used to be. And then they start to talk as if this version of this player, old, decrepit garbage, is the version that he's always been. And that's the last thing they remember. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what he's saying, but to me, I think it's the complete opposite. I've never spoke to anybody that has forgotten how great LeBron James was in high school. As a Kobe Bryant fan, who was the best high school player coming into the NBA in the 90s, LeBron James was a better high school player than Kobe Bryant, and the best high school player I've ever seen. But I've never heard anybody forget how great LeBron was coming into the NBA. What he was able to do off rip. So I don't know what you're talking about, Shannon.
Like Michael Jackson. Because Michael Jackson became so great as Michael Jackson the adult, we forget what he was when he was leading the Jackson 5 at 7 and 8 years of age. So when you think about, Wembanyama, really? Hell, he ain't even Skip, think about Kareem.
Please don't compare LeBron James to Michael Jackson ever again.
Kareem lost 2 games in high school, 2 games in college, won 3 championships in high school, 3 championships in NCAAs, was the most outstanding player, and came in and exceeded what we actually thought he could be. He had 6 MVPs. not Mike, not Russell, not Mr. Russell, not Will, not LeBron. He went to 10. He was the all-time scoring leader. He did that. So in order for this kid, and I'm not saying the kid is not worthy.
Now you want to talk about Kareem. But you never, y'all never bring up Kareem in your GOAT debates. You've never coveted that scoring champion, that scoring record when Kareem had it. It didn't have the same kind of weight when Kareem had it as it does when LeBron has it for you, Shannon Sharpe.
But did we forget how hyped LeBron was the first one to have his game on a high school game on television? He did that with no social media, nothing. Just hearsay. Skip, you like there's this kid out of Ohio. Okay, well how can I find him? What no games on? You had to wait to ESPN, and when ESPN put his game on against Oak Hill, he was better than advertised.
Okay.
So because Skip, when somebody's like, oh, he's a child prodigy, or he or she is a child prodigy, kind of like Jodie Foster, we don't give Jodie Foster the credit because she was great as a child actress. Skip, at 15, she was nominated in Taxi Driver. Later won an award for The Accused and Silence of the Lamb. The youngest, at 30, she had 2 Oscars on her mantle. But we forget, Skip, sometimes when people exceed what we thought they could be, we forget just how great they were as kids. We forget, Skip, LeBron. I don't care how hyped he was and what you thought he could become. Nobody saw this. The all-time leading scorer, 4 MVPs, 10 finals, 4 finals MVPs. All in the playoffs, every stat basically he owns except assists. He's 2 triple doubles away, and he's basically gonna have everything. So Wemby, wish you all score.
So there's no way I can prove this, but there's no reason I would lie about this. I think it's funny. Nobody could have predicted this. Nobody could have predicted this. One thing he mentioned becoming the scoring leader. It was the 2005-2006 season. I said LeBron James is going to be the all-time. Is going to at some point hold the record for most career points as an NBA player. I was in my college dorm, 2005, 2006, University of South Florida, Beta Hall. I don't remember which floor I was on. I don't remember my room number. But I sat there and I was like, yeah, LeBron James is going to be that. Now, I thought Kobe Bryant was going to get that. Kobe Bryant was on track to get that record up until, obviously, barring injuries. But even late in his career, Kobe Bryant was on track to get that record until he tore his Achilles. And then the last several years of his career were a wash. Came back from the Achilles, broke his knee, broke his shoulder, then end up having a real chance to get the record. But even in my prediction that Kobe would get it, I also predicted that LeBron James would overtake Kobe. But LeBron, I just saw he was already trending youngest player to this, youngest player to that, youngest player to this, youngest player to that. Kobe was trending not always youngest player, but fastest player. I mean, I take that back. Kobe wasn't always trending fastest player. Kobe was trending youngest player. Okay, LeBron James, youngest. So it was obvious LeBron James was tracking to become the greatest, well, I'm not going to say greatest scorer, but to hold the all-time scoring record for career points. And given LeBron James's bill of health, I was like, this guy never gets injured. Even early in his career, he'd only been in the league, 2-3 years at that point. I was like, this guy never gets hurt. He never gets hurt. He's built. He is solid. He is strong. And then I looked at LeBron James' athleticism. I was like, this dude is hyper athletic, freakishly athletic. So I was like, given where LeBron James' athleticism is compared to other players, so even if he faces the same rate of decline with athleticism as the average NBA player, LeBron James, late in his career, his athleticism would be on par with most average players would have in their prime. That's how I looked at that. And I was like, yeah, this guy's going to be around a long time. I don't swear, right hand on the Bible, I predicted that. I did. And everything else comes with it. All the records, you play that long, you're great that long, that comes with it. I didn't give the other stuff that much thought, but logically it comes with it if you're successful.
LeBron James was the chosen one. Let me ask you, is Wemby the next one? Because he ain't the chosen one. That belongs to GOAT James. So maybe he's the next one. Nah, I ain't buying it. Dame is absolutely correct. Put some respect on the man. If every chance they get, they try to take a shot. I heard someone say the other day, Skip, even if at the ripe old age of 38, if Nikola Jokic was to beat him, it would, I don't care how old he is, it would be an impressive. We don't do that with boxers, Skip. When Joe Louis got beat by Rocky Marciano, they say Joe Louis was 700 years old. When all the greats, Muhammad Ali started losing, they say he's 65. But they don't do that with GOAT. Because every chance they get, they try to take something from it. They try to take a piece out of it. They can't do it. Wemby, I don't care how much he's hyped, even in social media, he wasn't hyped. He wasn't the prodigy that GOAT James is.
I don't understand why you're so upset over somebody saying that he's a bigger prospect. They're not saying that he's going to be greater than LeBron James. They're not saying that he's definitely going to be the greatest player of all time. They're just saying as a prospect, he is a greater prospect. They look at him, they look at the size, look at the era of basketball which he's coming into, and they say, hey, this guy we've never seen anything like this guy. And I don't see what the problem is with that. If LeBron James was my favorite player, I would not be upset about somebody saying he's a bigger prospect. Nobody's saying what he's definitely going to be. We all have to wait and see. But we know that the potential is there. And that is why he's the greatest, or one of the greatest. Some people are saying greatest prospect. I've heard it both ways. I've heard greatest, and I've heard people say the greatest since LeBron James. But does it really matter? Does it really matter to be this hyped up over this?
Okay. I hear everything you just said, and I am lost. I have no idea what you're talking about. There hasn't been one breath that has come out of my lungs that tries to indicate that Wemby is anything like LeBron was.
But hold on, Skip, you don't. Do you watch television? Do you hear anything? Are they not saying he's the most hyped prospect in NBA history?
Pause. But this is all based on hindsight. This is all based off what we've seen LeBron become. So you're able to give that kind of context. But think about this. When LeBron James was coming into the league and people were saying that he's the greatest prospect ever, nobody was up in arms about that. We hadn't even seen what LeBron James would become. We knew the potential was there, but he hadn't proven anything yet. But nobody was up in arms and emotional about it like he is. And if that's how you feel, think about all the Jordan fans and whatever other fans out there, how they responded to the fact that people were calling LeBron James the chosen one and the king and all this before he even stepped on the floor, saying that he was going to be there were people saying he was going to be the greatest of all time over Jordan. People felt that. Or people say he potentially could be. But hey, Shannon, now you know how some of those other people felt who might be Jordan fans or whatever else kind of fan. Think about it that way. I guess one way to look at it. But either way, it's prospect.
I don't get that. I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are.
So you don't watch nothing. So you've heard nobody say that. I want to hear you say it right now.
Everybody says since LeBron.
No.
Since LeBron, since LeBron,
No.
I've heard
everything
both.
I've read, since LeBron.
That's not what Woj just said. Okay. You need to, I don't know. But maybe it's my television.
LeBron.
No,
Since LeBron.
Woj said better than LeBron. I've heard others say better than LeBron.
I have not.
A greater prospect than LeBron? At the end of I keep repeating myself, but why is this a big deal? Why is this a big deal? And I don't know what Woj said. If Woj said that Victor Wembanyama was going to be greater than LeBron, well, he doesn't know that. Nobody knows that. But I don't hear people saying that. If you say Victor Wembanyama could potentially be greater than LeBron, potentially, sure, it's a possibility. It's not a certainty. He could be a bum for all we know. I doubt it, highly doubt it, but we don't know that. There's been plenty of high draft picks with great prospect that panned out to be nothing for whatever reason. But this guy's so emotional.
Not heard that one time. Maybe you're right, but I don't get it. And
through all this I'm hearing, I still haven't heard anything that's been a slight to LeBron James or disrespectful to LeBron James. So I don't see where he feel like this fire is coming from, because I see it in no direction.
Okay, I can only speak for me. There was no social media, but there was this thing called television, and I got to watch twice LeBron James at St. Vincent St. Mary, and you can go look it up. I said on national TV in 2004, starting on Cold Pizza, this is it. He is the chosen one because he is all of the above.
Right.
He will live up, and I don't think he's exceeded. I just think he's equaled his hype. It was unbelievable.
So hold on. So
he went to Sacramento on opening night and looked like an all-star.
So you thought he'd
like
be
a man among boys as a boy.
So
as
you
an
thought
18-year-old, right?
You thought he would be the all-time leading scorer in NBA history.
I did.
I didn't. Who would know that? Well, I don't know how healthy.
I didn't predict it before he got drafted, but like I said, 2-3 years into a season, I was like, yeah.
He's going to stay. I don't know.
You said he has not exceeded what you thought he'd become because of what he did as a child in Sacramento.
Yeah, but it was unbelievable at St. Vincent St. Mary. I'm thinking, this kid, I don't know how tall, was he 6'8" or?
Yeah.
He looked like he's already whatever he is.
Right.
And I was saying, this is unbelievable because he could pass the basketball like magic, like he was already magic. You could see, because listen, if you know passing the basketball, it's really kind of once a generation. You just don't see it. It comes along here and there. Luke has got a lot of it, but he doesn't have what LeBron has. He doesn't have what Magic has. John Stockton had it. Jason Kidd had it, but it's generational. It's like there's one guy. LeBron, I always say, he's still the best passer in basketball. There'll be a couple of passes a night where I'll say, that's just too good.
Yeah.
That's like...
That's cap. That's super cap. Man. Oh, boy.
Thank you, God.
It's like a great passer in football, Skip. It's all about anticipation. It's anticipatory.
All right. Well, he's got whatever that thing is, it is the greatest. The point is, he already had it in high school. And he wasn't the greatest shooter, but he was so explosively athletic. And you could see right away, I knew right away, he's born left-handed and he was ambidextrous at the rim. And I'm saying nobody's going to be able to stop that in this league. So if he stays healthy, well, sure, he would have a chance. I didn't know he could play 20 years at this level, right? At this.
So you got to factor all that in.
He's exceeded longevity expectation because he's beaten historical.
You thought 10 finals?
Well, I didn't know about 10 finals. I mean.
So for me, LeBron James hasn't necessarily exceeded any expectations I had for him. He's had a great NBA career, which I predicted. All right, 10 finals with 6 losses and 4 victories. Now, if you would have told me LeBron James, if a soothsayer would have came to me and said LeBron James went to 10 finals by year 20, I would have said, well, he probably won 7 of them, 6 or 7 of them. I wouldn't have thought it would have been the other way around. So I really wouldn't use that. No, I wouldn't. No.
But I don't know. I just knew he was going to be all-time great. And I said it. I told him on Cold Pizza every morning I come in, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. And we just did it and did it and did it because he was already it. He had chosen one tattooed across his back. Sports Illustrated proclaimed him the chosen one. Shannon, I don't know how much more hype you can get. I told you yesterday, I'm first guessing Wemby because I have no idea. He's playing a pro league in France.
Right.
And I look at it and I say, okay. But remember, if there's anyone to blame here for this Wemby hype, it's LeBron James. He called him an alien.
Right.
Well, when he blesses him as an alien, nobody said LeBron was an alien, right?
But here's
you got to give that, right?
Yeah.
If it comes out of LeBron's mouth, alien.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and LeBron doesn't have a problem blessing guys. You know, he went to see Steph in a NCAA game and said that he legit. But Skip, I think the thing is that just imagine what social media has done.
Okay.
Social media has shaped the way we think and what we do more so than TV.
Okay. Well.
So here's my problem with this. You want to use this. You want to use this social media argument when it fits your favor, but don't acknowledge what it's done for your guy, LeBron James, as well. No, LeBron James, when he came into the league, social media didn't start really becoming a thing a couple years into his NBA career. But like LeBron and other players that have played in the social media era since social media began, they have benefited greatly off of it on so many levels. As far as notoriety, as far as making money, as far as exposure. So don't act like he's the only one benefiting off social media. And when it comes in terms of, exposure before you play your first NBA game, well, this is the era he's coming into. Just like LeBron James had more media exposure in his era than the players before him. Come on, man. Internet wasn't around for guys years before LeBron James came into the league. When they were draft prospects, there wasn't internet at all.
You can speak for yourself on that one, but not for me, but whatever. Go ahead.
Man, Skip, think about what social media has done.
Yeah.
It's made millionaires out of people that when you like, what? Okay. How? You what? That's social media. That's something you're not really getting on TV without a talent. You got to be able to do something to get on TV.
Yeah, agreed.
In social media, they're like, hold on. How did you get 30, 50, 70 million followers? How are you making 40, 50 million dollars? What actually do you do?
Okay, I got it.
LeBron didn't have that skill.
Remember, those people are going to come and go. They're going to come and go. They're not going to last.
Well, let me come and get 50 million. I go right on about my business.
Okay.
Skip, I'm not saying the kid, 7'5".
You know what? And this is the other problem. Every story I read has a different height on it. Because seriously,
7'4",
no 7'2s. There are a lot of 7'2s. A lot of stories say he's 7'2. And then I see the NBA.com has got him at 7'3. Well, is he 7'5 or not? Because if he's 7'5, that's a big difference from 7'2. It is.
He might be on the sliding scale.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
He might. Because I agree with you. One with shoes on, he's 7'5. Without shoes, he's 7'3, 7'3 and a half.
So I don't know. Okay, look, we talked about it the other day ahead of the lottery, and I think we completely concurred. Who knows? He's willowy. He doesn't have a man body.
Right.
Is he going to have the playing strength to dominate this league?
Do you need that in this league so much? That's the other thing. I don't think, not in this NBA. There's a lot of skinny, lanky people out here doing their thing that don't have a lot of strength. Could it benefit you? Yes, but you can get by well without it in today's league.
I asked the same question about Chet Holmgren. I don't know. They both got high skill, but if he's 7'5" with that skill, who knows? How psychologically tough is he? Because this league it's the equivalent of National Football League to me on physical and mental tough. You better have it or you will get eaten alive.
And I think the thing is, Skip, with Kareem, is that Kareem was not as mobile and agile as these guys. So you're asking them to be, so that's a little bit more stress on their body than, say, the typical bigs back in the day. Yeah. They went down to the block, Skip. They did what they did. This kid is going to be, he's a stretch. So he's going to be all over the court.
Yeah, I'm not leaping to that conclusion because
Shannon's not wrong there, but different kind of stress, right? Because now they're not out there banging with big people taking the physical bruising punishment like they did in the past. That's a different type of stress on the body. But they both incur different kinds of stresses on the body.
Because how could you even think he was going to be beyond LeBron? If he's going to be beyond LeBron, well, you've already proclaimed LeBron the GOAT. I don't. I think it's Jordan. But still, does that mean we're looking at the GOAT? Well, now
who knows? Who knows? Can you call him the GOAT now? No. But who's doing that? Shannon is acting as if people are doing that. If his response, his emotional response, I wouldn't make this video about his emotional response if people were calling him the GOAT. If people were saying he's going to be better than LeBron James, then I wouldn't make this video because I wouldn't really have a problem with his emotional response. Even though it's still super emotional, I could understand it. But just by saying that he could be potentially a greater draft prospect than LeBron James, I still don't understand why he's getting so butthurt about that. The notion of that.
we're saying then?
Right.
We're saying if in fact LeBron is the GOAT, let's accept that's the fact. Well, then if he's got more potential, then he's going to be the greatest player who ever played. Well, I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah,
right?
That's asking an awful lot.
Okay. Well,
but that's what I'm saying, Skip. I mean, you're old enough to remember Kareem and what Kareem did in high school and college.
I saw him in college. I did get to see him as a freshman because they couldn't see it.
But his freshman team beat the team that just won the national championship. Let that sink in. So just imagine, you used to have it in college football. You used to have a B team.
Yep. They did. No, they did.
They did.
They did. Well, they had a freshman team.
They had a freshman team. So just imagine if the Georgia freshman team beat the national championship Bulldogs that just won 65-7 over TCU.
It couldn't happen. It just couldn't happen. But in basketball, because one guy
can dominate the game. So I agree with you. And the kid might be great, but hype, people forget, because LeBron has been great for so long, people forget just how great he was as a high school player.
Okay, I got it. But it feels to me like if Dame and Draymond are their Don Quixotes fighting windmills, because you're sort of fighting ghosts. I'm not sure that narrative you're responding to a narrative that I think you're overstating or overreacting.
I think they're overstating it because of how good he could be.
Thank you, Skip. Thank you. I can't believe I'm saying thank you, Skip. I cannot believe I'm saying that. But my point exactly, Skip. Thank you.
He's the best. I mean, I just, like I said, I don't see it. I mean, LeBron.
Hey, listen. I'm going to say it again, and I'm coming from the right side of the table here because I'm like painfully objective about LeBron.
Right.
He was all-time great when he was 16. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about all time.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like he was. And I did have the benefit of television. It was on ESPN2.
Right.
But I saw 2 full games. I remember exactly where I was when I saw both of them because I sat back and said, God, that's something right there. Mm-hmm. Like we haven't seen that.
No.
Just because I think he was already 6'8", right?
Yeah, he's had that. I mean, he's had that body.
All right. And then, so that's young. Is that rookie?
Yeah, that's his rookie year.
Okay. All right. And Shannon.
And look at that body compared to that body.
Hey, thank you. And all you need to do, I don't have the numbers right in front of me. Maybe you got them in memory, but he went to Sacramento when they were pretty good, and he looked like, seriously, he looked like an all-star to me. This is the opening night at Sacramento, and he talked after the game. I was nervous, and I was shaky-handed, and when I made my first shot, I kind of heaved a sigh of relief. Right. But go look at the numbers he put up. Yeah. He was already him. Right. He was him.
I can't remember exactly what LeBron James' rookie numbers was on his, surface stats, but it was somewhere along the lines of 24, 25 points per game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists in his very first game. Something similar to that. Great showing.
But Skip, even then, even as LeBron is going along, I never thought he could get Kareem. I never thought, and I understand.
I
mean, come on.
I did.
Beyond comprehension.
Yes. Okay. And there's a chance that he's going to end up with over 40,000 points.
I got it. And I'm going to say it again. What jars my psyche on this is he's not the greatest three-point shooter or free throw shooter, and he's playing so long at such a high level. He is such a great basket attacker that there he is. Yeah. And it's still going. And to even think that he's going to have that career it's ludicrous. And it's also just flat out wrong to put that on him.
Because we think about him and Kareem. Kareem played 20 also. LeBron's at 20. I believe he's going to play at least another, what
do we see? I'm knocking on wood to say this, but with those really tall kids, what happens? They all have feet problem, right?
But I think the thing that's going to save him is that his frame. Skip, I didn't realize this. I saw the interview with Shaq and Kareem. In 20 seasons, Kareem missed 80 games. He missed 20 once when he punched Kent Benson in the face. I think the start of the 70-something season.
Yes, he started the season.
So think about that. So without a suspension, Kareem would have missed 60 games in 20 years. Zion's missed 60 games in a month.
Yeah, but then there are the Bill Waltons, and for those who don't remember, he
was sensational.
Oh, he was sensational, but he had bad feet.
Bad feet.
Okay.
It robbed him of what could have been a great season because he was probably the best passing big man at the time because he could really pass the basketball. Because my first, I don't remember him in college, Skip, is that when they beat the 76ers, they came down from 0-2 and they beat them 4 straight. With Dr. Jack Ramsey, they had Lionel Hollins on that team.
Yeah.
And I was like,
he bounced back and made 6th man of the year at Boston.
On the 86 team.
Yeah. But if Wemby can even have Bill Walton's career, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, rookie of the year, the MVP. Yeah, finals MVP.
Yeah. What are you talking about? With all due respect to Bill Walton is one of the league's biggest what ifs. What if he was never injured? Yeah, he would have an even greater career than what he had. But if after everything is done and Victor Wembanyama, given the hype around this kid, ended up having the career of Bill Walton, it would not be good for Victor Wembanyama. And that's not a slight at Bill Walton. His career was a product of his injuries, right? It was that damn foot injury. But he was still able to have a good career, all things considered. But he's one of the biggest what ifs. Bill Walton could have had much more individual success potentially had injuries not derailed him. Nobody is going to look at Victor Wembanyama's career after it's all said and done if he's left with the accomplishments of Bill Walton. No, I have to disagree. Sorry.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Yep.
Spurs fans are on board, Skip. 2,500 new season ticket memberships already sold.
I've said everything I had to say except one thing. You keep saying, look at what LeBron James was doing in high school. Look at what LeBron James was doing in high school. We never seen anything like him, which is 100% true. But look at what Victor Wembanyama is doing over in the EuroLeague. And he's not playing with and against high schoolers. He's playing with and against grown men, where the talent level is far better than the high school talent level. You're not taking that into consideration. Look at what Victor Wembanyama is doing in a league with men, not high schoolers. Take that into context, into consideration too. But either way, like Skip said, you're overreacting Shannon Sharpe. Nobody's saying he's going to be greater than LeBron James. They're just saying that he is the best since LeBron James as far as a prospect or the greatest ever. He's 7'4", 7'5", whatever, with point guard / shooting guard like skills and can play great defense and can work in the post. He's like a combination of all these great players put together. But that doesn't guarantee anything still. We still have to wait and see. That's why he is prospected. Look, at the end of the day, LeBron James was considered the greatest draft prospect at the time because of his size and his abilities. 6'8", grown man body, could pass, could dribble, could shoot. And we had never seen anybody his size with his athletic abilities and his skills. Nobody was saying, the majority of people weren't saying he was definitely going to be the greatest ever. He was definitely going to be better than this person or that person. But the potential was there. And he was the greatest draft prospect for those reasons. The same way Victor Wembanyama is being called the greatest draft prospect ever, or the greatest draft prospect since LeBron James, is what I'm hearing. Because he is 7'4", 7'5", whatever. Can play in the post, can play in the paint, can defend, can block shots, can rebound, can shoot all the way out past the three-point line, feet behind the three-point line, has point guard, shooting guard skills at his height. Very similar to generally the reasons why we consider LeBron James the greatest prospect before he ever stepped foot on a court to do anything. The same way we're giving Victor Wembanyama that same level, or giving Victor Wembanyama that same treatment as far as a draft prospect before he's ever stepped foot on an NBA court. It is the same thing. Nobody's guaranteeing anything. And just like LeBron James had televised games in high school, Victor Wembanyama has had televised games playing in the European League. In the United States, there was a Wembanyama tracker. There is really no difference. LeBron hadn't proved anything. And he was called the greatest draft prospect, the chosen one, the king, before he did anything. Victor ain't getting called all that. He's just getting called the greatest draft prospect. Or since LeBron James, before he's done anything. Case closed. Good night. Shannon Sharpe, calm down. These are not shots at LeBron James. And anybody that thinks so is stretching, reaching. Stop meat riding. Stop being a Bronsexual. This is not a shot at LeBron James. I don't see how it is. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. That's all I got to say about it. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Is Shannon Sharpe reacting appropriately? I don't know. Give me your opinion. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Shout out to Victor Wembanyama. Can't wait to see you play, man. Didn't want you to go to the Spurs, but it is what it is. Shout out to LeBron James, one of the greatest to ever play the game. Never seen a player play at this high level this long into his career and stay very healthy in the process. We out, baby.